In this video, I'm giving you 5 tips on how to maintain a healthy adult friendship. If that sounds like something you're into, keep on watching. The first tip is to reflect on your upbringing, your family life, or your home life. How were you encouraged or discouraged to make friendships, maintain friendships? Were you the kind of friend who could go over to people's houses? Could you do sleepovers, or was everyone always coming over to your house because your parents were super protective? Some people have family members who become their friends. Your parents encourage you to spend time with your cousins and your aunts and your uncles and discourage you from making friends at school or after school activities. So reflect on how that might affect how willing or unwilling you are to keep, maintain, or form friendships. And if any of the relationships you have with the people you lived with growing up reflect how you act in your friendships as an adult. Tip number 2, communication styles. How often do you like to hear from your friend? How often do you want a phone call, a text message, or is it offensive to you if you DM your friend only and they don't call you? Everybody's different, and I kind of touch on that in my one-sided friendship video. I'll put that in the cards because some people feel like I need to hear from you every week. Some people feel like, oh, you're too clingy. Every week is too much for me. So it's good to know where you're at and where your friend's at to see how you can maintain communication where you're both hearing from each other in a way that's not annoying, irritating, or in a way that's making you feel neglected or left out. Number 3, interaction frequency. How often do you need to see your friend face to face? If you're living in the same city or the same state, it's important to know how often would you like to spend time with them, going somewhere or going over to their house. It really depends on your friend because some people like to go out to be social, so they'll go to the movies, to dinner, they'll meet you at the beach. And some people like to bring their social life to them. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about that friend that never likes to leave the house. They want to see you, but they want you to come over to their place. They're not trying to go here, there, and everywhere. They're like, yeah, I want to see you. Come over, pull up. We can have dinner. I'll make you lunch. We can have some drinks by the pool if they live in an apartment complex. So it depends on each person's preference. If you guys have opposite social preferences, maybe you can take turns. One day you go over to their place, another day you drag them out of their place. Another thing to consider is how you like to interact. Is it one-on-one or in a group? Some people prefer one-on-one interactions with their friends, and some people like to group everyone together. Me personally, I do not like to mix people. Even though I know everyone will get along, I feel like my personal one-on-one time with everyone is special. It's precious at this point in our lives. We're older, our schedules are so busy and different that when we actually have time in our schedules to catch up, I want it to be intimate, just one-on-one. And there are some people who like to group everyone together. They invite you to the beach, and then on your ride there, they're like, yeah, I invited Bob, he's gonna pull up. And Timmy, he said he's on his way, and Mary's actually already there. She's gonna tell us where she is by dropping her pin. I don't really like that too much because when you're in a group, you don't have the comfort to say and act and be the way you would if you were one-on-one with that person. I'm not saying it always has to be one-on-one, but I prefer me and my friend as opposed to me with my friend and their friends. The only time that doesn't really bother me is like a birthday or a party. But if I haven't seen my friend in a while and they ask me to hang out and other people are coming, I'm not saying I won't go. I'm just saying it's better if it's just one-on-one. For me personally, everybody's different. What do you prefer, one-on-one or in a group? Let me know in the comments below. Number 4 is adjusting to change. Life is lifing. So you have people who get new jobs, they get married, they break up with their significant other, they have children, they might be grieving, they might have moved to a new place, they might have lost their car. There are so many different changes that we go through in our lives, and it's important to adjust and be considerate of the changes that your friend might be going through. Don't be the friend that pressures them or guilts them into being the way they used to be. No one's the way they used to be. You aren't the way you used to be. And so it's important to, 1, expect change from your friends because no one's going to stay the same way forever, and adjust, accept, and embrace them as they change. Maybe offer support if they need it. A change in behavior can also be a sign that something is wrong. If they always go to the beach on Sundays, I always say the beach, I live in Miami. It's the only thing we have to do over here besides getting lit on South Beach. Again, the beach. If you have a friend who always goes to the beach and you realize they stopped going, there's no reason to be like, how come you don't go to the beach like you used to? You always used to go to the beach. Come with more love and compassion. Hey, I noticed you haven't been going to the beach lately. Is everything okay? I know that's your zen. I know that's how you get to your center, your peace. You like listening to the waves. Is that not feeding you the way it used to anymore? There's so much pressure, stress, and noise in people's lives. If you want to be a real positive adult friend, the best way to maintain that is to add to their support and cushion, not stress levels or headaches. Number 5 is to talk out sensitive and tough subjects. This is something that I struggled with before, but if your friend says or does something that doesn't sit well with you, try to talk to them about it as soon as you can. I know that when you're closer to somebody, it can be difficult to talk to them about hard things because everything is always so positive. But the longer you let it linger, the more it festers, and then anger, which is repressed and turns into resentment, starts to harbor in your heart, and that's not healthy for you physically, mentally, or spiritually. So consider how you and your friend talk about things that bother you about one another. I'm not talking about reading each other to filth, like I don't like your hair, and I don't like your car, and I don't like your man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying if you do something, or if your friend does something that they don't like, or that you don't like, you guys need to have a way to discuss that is positive, that is productive, and that is constructive. You don't want to be going against each other, hurting each other's feelings, but at the same time, you don't want to sit in silence if something bothers you. I actually have a cousin who told me that in her friend group, they have a rule, which I think is brilliant. If you have a problem with someone in the group and you don't bring it up in a week, after that week, you can no longer bring it up. I think that's great, because the longer you wait to bring up a problem with your friend, the harder it is to discuss, because you feel guilty for bringing it up so much later. You have so many additional feelings because you've been going through it over and over in your head and creating your own scenarios. The longer you wait to bring up the problem after it's happened, the harder it is to remember how it even happened to begin with. So let's say something happened 3 months ago and you bring it up to your friend. Remember we went to brunch and you didn't A, B, and C? You can't even remember it properly. They can't remember it properly. And now how are you supposed to come to a common ground, a solution, if they don't even remember exactly what happened, and neither do you? So now you're creating a problem on top of a problem. There was a problem that could have been fixed if you addressed it early enough. But now the problem on top of that is that you don't even remember clearly exactly how things happened. So if you have a problem with one of your friends, bring it up as soon as you can. Be assertive, but not aggressive. Be honest, but not harsh. And be patient but persistent. You don't want to just tell them and say, I just wanted to let you know that I felt sad when you said that. No, you want to say, so moving forward, so for future reference, I would appreciate if you give them an action step. It's not enough to just spill your guts and then let them listen like they're a therapist. If they're your friend and they're in this friendship with you, they should hear you, but you should also have a solution, or at least an idea towards a solution or an action that they can take to prevent this from happening over again. So you can always refer back to the conversation like, yeah, remember I told you that I don't like when you A, B, and C. Because, you know, we love receipts over here. If I left something out, please leave it below, because I need all the advice I can take. Watch some of my other videos on adult friendships. I have quite a few. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Here's my social media. You can follow me here. And until the next video, I hope that you and your friends act accordingly. Bye.